up next.
On Your Pittsburgh. Josh Groban performs all over the world, but we're talking to him about his Pittsburgh connection.
I love the Berg. I love it here.
And we learn what he was like back in school.
Star power? No, not really.
We're cooking, or at least trying to.
I'm afraid, I know.
A group of us at KDKA check out a place where learning to make a meal
That's perfect! Hey!
is as much fun as eating it. Find out where you can give it a try.
I'm Lisa Washington. Do you know about the local town named after one of America's first ladies?
You wanted to know, so we're uncovering a unique piece of history.
Plus, it makes it look like our city's being blown up.
But don't worry, it's just a movie. I'm Sarah Arbogast. I'll introduce you to an up-and-coming filmmaker who's making Pittsburgh a star.
And a cool new restaurant where the food is authentic and the atmosphere is fun.
From KDKA-TV, this is Your Pittsburgh with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Your Pittsburgh. I'm David Highfield.
And I'm Susan Copen. We're coming to you from Station Square with a beautiful view of downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is an awesome spot, and we're going to begin with someone who has an awesome voice. We're talking about Josh Groban. Don't you love him?
Voice of an angel.
You said it. Well, it turns out he spent a few months of his life in Pittsburgh, and as I discovered, it's still a very special place for him.
You raised me up so I can stand on mountains.
There's something magical when Josh Groban sings. His first Grammy nomination came for You Raise Me Up, a song that can give you goosebumps. His latest album features Broadway tunes.
And point me toward tomorrow.
He is a megastar, and guess what?
You like us. I really like us. I love the Berg. I love it here.
And he means that. He's a real Pittsburgh fan.
A lot of it has to do with those early memories when I was 16, 17 and kind of tromping around Pittsburgh with my dad, exploring the city before starting my freshman class.
Josh grew up in LA, but was accepted into the prestigious musical theater program here at Carnegie Mellon.
2, ready, go, thank you.
He and Professor Claudia Benak still stay in touch.
When someone will say, oh, I went and saw Josh Groban and he was amazing, and then I'll just stick in there because I can't help myself. I was his teacher at Carnegie Mellon.
I had an absolute star freshman class.
His classmates included Leslie Odom Jr., who won a Tony for his role in the Broadway hit Hamilton.
You can't do that!
Yeah, I can. And actress Katie Mixon from Mike and Molly. So Benak says while Josh certainly fit in, he didn't stand out back then the way you might think.
The voice was very special, knew that, but star power? No, not really.
But as it turned out, opportunity quickly came knocking. Even before college, legendary music producer David Foster had asked Josh to fill in for Andrea Bocelli and sing with Celine Dion during a rehearsal for the Grammys. And after only 6 months at CMU, he got the chance to record his first CD. So
I had to say to myself, am I going to spend the next 4 years wondering what could have been? So I took a leave. I didn't just quit it. I said to myself, if this doesn't work out, I'll come back in a year.
But there was no coming back. Josh's star just kept rising. Singer Jackie Evancho, who's from Pittsburgh, remembers how they both performed during Oprah Winfrey's farewell special.
He's one of the real deals. He's great.
Such a sweetheart, such a pure, beautiful voice.
Josh invited her to one of his concerts, and she considers him kind of a brother.
We were both discovered by the same guy, technically, David Foster. He's like our music dad. I call him my music dad. He's my sibling. So it's great that we have that connection.
Josh has a foundation to support music programs in schools because he says it saved him from bullying as a kid.
You know, I was shy, I was weird, I wasn't into sports.
But when he performed in high school musicals, well, that changed his life.
That's the first time I ever felt cool. That's the first time I ever felt like, oh, they're applauding me? Like, oh, I crushed that song?
Now he shows off his comedic talent singing with James Corden.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man.
And putting Donald Trump's tweets to music on Jimmy Kimmel.
At Barack Obama's birth certificate is a fraud. A fraud.
But he says one of his favorite things to do is to perform in Pittsburgh. It brings back memories.
I just remember going to a few Pirates games and just great chicken wings. They lost, but the wings were great.
But most of all, he has a soft spot for the people here. He says we're some of the best audiences around.
It's always been a very kind, very welcoming, very artistic city.
You raise me up to more than I can be.
And the really big news for Josh is that he is making his Broadway debut next month in a musical that's based on part of War and Peace.
Also, the other big news for Jackie Evancho, she is going on tour. She will be at the Benedum in March. Okay, time to answer your questions with the segment we call You Wanted to Know.
Last time we asked, do you want to know about the local town named after one of America's first ladies? Original homes came complete with chicken coops and wheelbarrows.
Or do you want us to explore the ghost towns of Western Pennsylvania? They sprouted up but then quickly disappeared.
Well, with 64% of the vote, the town named after the first lady wins. So Lisa Washington takes us to a community that has a history that may surprise you.
David and Susan, let's start with the name. This town is named after First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. They took the Nor from Eleanor and the Velt from Roosevelt and put them together, Norvelt.
And to explain why, let's go back in time. It was the 1930s. Times were tough. As part of FDR's New Deal, a spot near Mount Pleasant in the rolling hills of Westmoreland County was chosen as a site to build homes for unemployed coal miners. 250 homes. Families who moved there were actually required to construct the houses and were also trained to be gardeners, responsible for their own food. Each home came with a grape arbor, gardening tools, even a chicken coop. Nowadays, you can pick out the original homes from the dormer windows they all have.
This is a 6-person house, a family of 6.
Reverend David Greer grew up in Norvelt. His grandparents lived in one of the original homes.
Oh, very nice, Pastor.
Oh, thank you.
I like it.
Now, he lives in one of the homes that's been remodeled.
Well, this is the original staircase to the house.
By today's standards, the rooms are on the small side. The closets are even smaller. But
the founders of Norvelt were very appreciative even for a little space like this.
We have the leaf, the candle, and the keystone.
The homes had various styles of shutters, just some of the stuff the Norvelt Historical Society has collected. Check out this old pressure cooker.
They bought a lot of them, and they had people come in from the government and taught the women how to can.
They also have a picture from Eleanor Roosevelt's visit in 1937, which brings us back to the name. The community was originally called Westmoreland Homesteads, but Mrs. Roosevelt insisted to her husband that all the homes have indoor plumbing, electricity, and hot water, the modern amenities of the time.
To her, the lives of every person out here was important, and she demonstrated that.
Everyone was so grateful, the town was renamed Norvelt in her honor. People here say there's a pride in owning a Norvelt home, making it a desired place to live then and now.
Why would you want to live anywhere else?
Virginia Spear, another Norvelt native, wishes she had the opportunity to thank the former First Lady for her influence on the community.
That lady, I think, was a visionary. She had a picture in her mind of something that was pretty darn special. So thank you, Eleanor.
For your Pittsburgh, I'm Lisa Washington in Norvelt.
And Lisa says it can be difficult to buy one of the original homes because they are passed down in families from generation to generation.
Still to come, KDKA takes a unique cooking class.
Good job, David. Really great.
And it's as delicious as it is fun.
We're going to edit parts of this.
Speaking of food, David and I are checking out a cool new restaurant that's worthy of high marks. A++.
And right after the break,
Pittsburgh is the main character. Pittsburgh is what's at stake.
We'll introduce you to the young movie maker whose explosive new film about our city is winning awards. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Emmy Award-winning Your Pittsburgh.
Well, Hollywood seems to like Pittsburgh. From Silence of the Lambs to Striking Distance to Jack Reacher, we have seen and continue to see our share of big Hollywood films being made here.
Yeah, but it is a low-budget movie that was made in Pittsburgh that seems to be getting a lot of buzz. And Sarah Arbogast introduces us to the movie maker behind it.
Today, an event is forming.
I'm Amanda.
That will end Western democracy.
Action, adventure, a plot filled with conspiracy. And that's just in the first 5 minutes of Rising Fear, the story of a Marine framed for a terror attack.
The movie starts off with a bang. All of Midtown is turned into ground zero.
The intense special effects, all the work of Pitt graduate Tom Getty. For the past 5 years, this film starring our city has been his focus.
I wrote, directed, starred in, produced, edited, did the special effects, and I even learned how to play the piano because it was the only way to bring this movie to life for $6,000.
In Hollywood, the price tag for this type film would run $100 million. Tom's friends and family took on acting roles to keep costs down. The incredible explosions and daredevil stunts you see were mostly computer generated. One of the scenes that may leave you wondering how in the world did he do that is when Tom actually jumps on top of one of the Duquesne incline cars. Well, once again, it was all movie magic. He won't reveal exactly how he did it, but while riding in the actual incline, he told me the incline you see in the movie is from his hometown of Johnstown.
We remodeled this car to look like the Johnstown incline plane, and it was like a complicated switch.
Rising Fear hit the #2 spot on Amazon's new release chart. Plus, awards are stacking up. It just won Best Action Feature at a film festival in D.C. The movie is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray in France, Japan, and China. Getty is thrilled to see his hard work paying off and says movie making in the Burgh is just the right fit.
It's where I feel inspired. I was just in LA last week. It's okay. Pittsburgh rules, though.
For your Pittsburgh, I'm Sarah Arbogast.
Lots of action there. Thanks, Sarah. Now, we have a link to the trailer for Rising Fear at our website, kdka.com/yourpittsburgh, if you want to check it out.
You can also buy a DVD of the movie on Amazon.
Still to come.
Holy
Wow,
smokes.
nice. The new restaurant that's packing in patrons. David and I are discovering what makes it so unique.
Oh, that's delicious.
And after the break, we're the ones doing the cooking.
Wow.
A group of us at KDKA learned some kitchen tricks at a place you might want to visit.
You guys are going to be very surprised.
You're watching Your Pittsburgh on KDKA-TV with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Welcome back, everybody. We are coming to you from the beautiful Station Square with an amazing shot of downtown Pittsburgh.
I love this next part. It's when a group of us at KDKA get together to try something out in the area, something that you might want to do too.
And tonight, the topic is cooking. Some of us are better at it than others.
Are you pointing at me?
No.
Arrive hungry and ready to eat at Chop, Walk, and Talk in the city's Friendship neighborhood. Owner Dorothy Tegg guides you through making a meal.
Let me see how you're holding your knife. Okay, everybody's wrong.
And apparently, we have a bit to learn.
You want to pinch your knife up on the blade. Okay, now you have complete control.
Our KDKA team consists of Ron Smiley, Heather Abraham, Lisa Washington, David, and me.
I don't really know what to do if there isn't a recipe, but if she's guiding us, I'm going to shine in there.
My weakness is actually measuring, so a lot of times I just like to eye it.
I said to my husband before we got married, my fiance at the time, I make reservations best. So there you go.
We're doing pretty well with the chopping and grating, but we hit a snag when David is stumped by a can opener.
Why does it feel like this is a left? I don't think it's.
Oh boy, get a shot of this one. This is gonna be a long day.
We're making a Thai menu. First up, chicken dumplings. Dorothy shows us how to finish them off by making little pleats.
2, 3.
Some of us get the knack of it right away.
Is this right or wrong?
That's perfect! Hey!
Lisa and Ron master it too, and if I do say so myself, I think that looks pretty darn good.
3.
David, however, needs a little coaching.
This sucks.
I'm not doing so well.
Soon, though, Dorothy has us all on track.
Oh, that looks delicious. Yeah.
And it's time to sample what we've created.
These are amazing.
Next up, pineapple fried rice with cilantro and grapes. We learn a neat way to cut the grapes between 2 lids.
Keep your fingers straight.
Thank you. Oh, look, I did something right.
Ron takes charge of the walk.
All right, now shovel and shake.
Okay. Shovel and shake.
Dorothy is an avid cook who's studied around the world. She started Chop, Walk, and Talk 14 years ago as a hobby.
It's really snowballed. I'm probably teaching 20, 25 days a month, so it's no longer a hobby. It's fun. They learn how to cook things. They can go home and replicate it.
We also make a chicken stir fry with bok choy and mushrooms. Then it's time to eat.
It's fun to kind of see how to cook the things that you kind of take for granted when you go to a restaurant.
I think Dorothy said I was clumsy at some point, but that's okay because I learned the proper way to roll the knife.
Congratulations on such a good job. Hey, now that was a bunch of fun. And she does more than just Asian food. She will also teach you French, Mexican, Italian, and more.
Yeah, it costs about $70 a person, but you make 5 or 6 dishes, so it's really a pretty good deal. We have more information for you about Chop, Walk, and Talk at KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh. Well, attention shoppers, there are some new places in our area to find bargains, cool new dining spots, and a scent that'll take you back to your childhood.
Just some of the things to show you as we check out what's new in the Burgh.
The new Saks Off 5th store opens next week at the Block Northway in Ross. Nordstrom Rack, another popular place for designer deals, open there in August. And our area's first Container store will open there this week.
Block 292 is the newest dining spot in Mount Lebanon. What once was a gas station has been transformed. One side is a market and butcher shop with locally raised, hormone-free meats. The other is a restaurant and bar.
Speaking of food, the U.S. Steel Tower will become home to our area's first Red the Steakhouse. The highly rated restaurant already has locations in Miami Beach and Cleveland.
Of course, Cleveland also has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And 3 Pittsburgh guys think our city can attract equally big crowds to a museum celebrating beer. They're working to make it a reality, complete with a brewery, restaurant, and gift shop.
We're getting national attention because Uber is testing its fleet of self-driving cars on Pittsburgh streets. For now, there'll still be a person monitoring in each car. They also have a test track in Hazelwood. Uber has 500 employees at its center in the Strip.
A new type of ice cream is a hit in Lawrenceville. Natural is the first place in our area to serve rolled ice cream. First they spread it, then they scrape it up into rolls. The tradition started in Thailand.
Finally, remember the snack bar scent at the old Hills department stores? Well, Sugar Creek Candle Company in Irwin captured that mixture of popcorn, pretzels, and ices. It's called Pittsburgh Dad's Hills Snack Bar Candle. The comedian has referenced Hills in many of his videos. Since launching it earlier this year, they've shipped the candles to all 50 states. And I remember that smell. We went to Hills as a kid quite often, and you can definitely smell the popcorn.
You can smell the popcorn. I smell it. The candles go for $15 each, and you can find out more information on how to buy them at KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh. Still to come, it's time to eat.
Susan and I are checking out a cool new restaurant that's pretty unique for Pittsburgh. Stay with us. Contact us on Facebook or Twitter. We want to know what you want to see. After all, our show is called
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh.
Welcome back, everyone. We've changed location slightly down here by the beautiful fountain at Station Square. And this is when we check out a cool new restaurant. This one happens to be in Lawrenceville.
It's a very unique spot, and it serves up Japanese-style pub food. Now, if you don't know what that is, don't worry. We're about to show you. You immediately feel a cool vibe when you enter Umami. There's a bar, open kitchen, even a room with traditional Japanese seating. Chef and owner Roger Lai wows us right away.
Ooh, holy
wow,
smokes.
nice. Check out this beautiful display of sashimi. Super fresh salmon, tuna, scallops, and mackerel.
It's good.
It is delicious, and this place is also about having fun. We also order one of the most popular dishes, takoyaki. It looks like a meatball, but it's made of octopus. And a spicy sushi roll shaped like an ice cream cone. It comes with a pipette to add the homemade sauce.
Oh, it's got a good kick. It's a little spicy. Oh, I like it.
David and I do our best with chopsticks, but chopsticks with a broken wrist. They don't go hand in hand. Gentleman that he is, David tries to help me out. You're like a mama bird.
Is this it all gonna work? There you go.
Lai wants the food to be authentic to Japan with his own twist.
Street food, Japanese street food, comfort, Japanese pub, very casual, fun, energetic, hip, true to the cuisine.
A++ for presentation, delivery, execution, and taste. And in Japanese tradition, we order some sake to wash everything down, but perhaps too much, so we decide to share. Would you guys like some sake? And make some new friends. Come on!
Now, I will say, pace yourself when it comes to the sake. It can sneak up on you.
A little bit.
And if you couldn't hear us there at the end, we said kanpai.
Kanpai.
Which is cheers in Japanese.
Again, it is called Umami. It's on Butler Street in Lawrenceville. And for more information, go to KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh.
Now, if you want more Your Pittsburgh, we invite you to join us on Facebook as soon as this show ends.
We'll be talking live about tonight's program. Just go to the Your Pittsburgh Facebook page, like us, and then join the conversation. A big thank you to the kind folks here at Station Square for hosting us. Great location.
That's all the time we have tonight. From all of us here, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.